Hey guys, welcome to Legacy Minutes for February 11th, 2020. I hope you are having a great week. This week, I'd like to spend our sessions talking about marriage in honor of the fact that Friday is Valentine's Day. And if you didn't know that Friday was Valentine's Day, you're welcome. You now have 3 days to prepare to bless and encourage and make your wife feel loved. So get your butt busy. But I'd like to talk about marriage for the remainder of the week. And I'd like to start off by talking about my wife's garden. So my wife loves to garden, always has. We live in Arizona on a couple of acres. And one thing that is kind of crazy about Arizona, we live in the desert of Arizona. One thing that's kind of crazy about the desert of Arizona is it is an amazing place to garden. It's an amazing place to grow vegetables. You wouldn't think of the desert as a place that grows things, but if you look around the Phoenix area, you will find that there is agriculture everywhere because you can grow things year round. All year round, you can grow things if you just have enough water. And so my wife loves to garden. And the first year we had our garden, it was amazing. It was this big, beautiful, very extremely fruitful garden. She can grow tomatoes and carrots and lettuces of all kinds, and kale and cucumbers and cauliflower and broccoli, you name it, she can grow it in this garden. And that first year was amazing. But what you also need to know about Arizona is the other thing that grows year round are weeds. There is never a time in Arizona when there are not weeds growing in that garden that you have to be great at. And one more thing you need to know, I am not great at maintenance. I'm just not good at thinking about the fact that I need to go out there on a daily basis and get the weeds out. And especially when it's 180 degrees outside, I don't want to go outside and cut down the weeds that seem to have no problem with the heat, but I do. So I'm not good at maintenance. And in fact, that's one of the things you can pray for me, that Carrie would be more disciplined at the maintenance things in life, at taking care of the mundane tasks in life, because the reality, guys, is it's in those mundane things that we are able to really love people the most. And so this weekend, I got to spend some time in my wife's garden. I got to go out there, get the tiller. I went to Lowe's and got a bunch of bags of manure and compost. And I got to spend a number of hours this weekend working in the garden, tilling the soil, getting it prepared for her summer garden. And as I was doing that, I was thinking about you guys. And I was thinking about how, this is really a picture of how we love our wives. All of our wives have a garden. In fact, they probably have many gardens in their lives. And these are figurative gardens that I'm speaking of. Maybe your wife has a real garden like mine, or maybe her garden is something else. Maybe it's the car that needs work done. Maybe it's some dishes that need done. Maybe it's she needs a nap, so she wants you to watch the kids. Maybe she just needs you to sit and listen and talk to her for a while and encourage her. Maybe she needs to bounce some ideas off you. Maybe she's got some entrepreneurial ideas and she wants to bounce those off. Maybe she just needs you to open that jar of pickles. Whatever it is, there are areas in your wife's life, guys, where she wants you. There are areas in your wife's life where she needs you, where she needs you to take the time and invest in her and pour into her. And so the question that I pose to you tonight is, what is your wife's garden? Do you know what your wife's garden or gardens is/are? What are those things and those areas in your life where maybe she hasn't spoken it, but she wants your input. She wants your help. She wants your companionship. What are those areas in your life where your wife wants you to come alongside of her and encourage her and lead her and love her? I was thinking about this and I was reminded of Ephesians chapter 5. And I know most of you know this, but I'm gonna read this to you again, just so that we can always keep it fresh in our minds and in our hearts. And it says this: husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her, that he might sanctify her, having cleansed her by the washing of the water with the word, so that he might present the church to himself in splendor, without spot or wrinkle or any such thing, that she might be holy and without blemish. In the same way, husbands should love their wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. For no one ever hated his own flesh, but nourishes it and cherishes it, just as Christ does the church, because we are members of his body. Guys, what are those areas in your wife's life where she needs you to come in and nourish and cherish her, where she needs your person, just your time, just you investing maybe in the little mundane things in life that are going to say, honey, I love you. Babe, you're amazing. I want you to know that I will never neglect you, that I will always cherish you, that I will always be here. Men, what are your wife's gardens? What are the places she needs and wants you in her life? And then get to it. I'm praying for you this week. I hope that you are preparing to love on her. And Valentine's Day is one day a year where we can tell our wives we love them. But guys, let's make it a habit and a purpose of our lives to tell them every day. And not just to tell them with our mouths, but to tell them with our lives, our actions, what we do, what maybe we don't do. Let's make that the purpose of our lives so that we can live and leave a godly legacy. Love you, praying for you, pray for me. And until next time, God bless you.